Hello and welcome back, where we left off after taking Marienburg settlement and declaring peace with them to get them off our backs while we deal with the orc incursions. So right now I'm just doing some housekeeping routines here, checking diplomacy to see if I can get any more trade agreements or non-aggression pacts with the other Brettonian factions in order to confederate them later. Now we are on turn number 3 now. So what I'm going to do immediately, since I have a healthy army still, is start the siege of Grung Zint. This way, I can prevent them from recruiting any more units, which would make our conquest a little more difficult. So we're just going to put ourselves in that circle for now. We're not going to attack them immediately. We could use a little bit more bolstering. So I'm going to return my other general back to our home capital area so he can actually recruit, since Marienburg doesn't have any recruitment buildings yet. Now, I'm assuming they're not going to attack me, simply because if they do, the main army would not be able to chase after me after I retreat. There would not be an easy fight for them if they decided to chase. So they're probably going to just sit there in Grung Zint. I am making a bet here that I'll be able to get my second army prepped to help supplement the main forces in order to make the battle a little more in my favor. So hopefully by turn 5, we'll be able to attack them and defeat them before the rebellion occurs over at Corone. So I'm going to go over the cap for the peasant economy, which is going to be a huge debuff if I don't use the army very soon. So I'm going to make sure that they are well used and return our economy back to normal as quickly as possible. Still checking my trade agreements and everything to help lessen the blow of my economy as I recruit more soldiers than my army is really capable of having right now. So I'm paying very close attention to my current treasury and my peasant economy. For those who don't know what the peasant economy is, that's where when you go over a certain cap, which I'm at 19 out of 12 at the top here, it's going to cost me more upkeep, and it looks like I recruited just the right amount in order to go into the negative line for my treasury. But this is turn 5 now. We are going to attack. Looks like we got a level up here. Let's go ahead and give her that ability there to make her a little more effective for combat and buff our units. And here we go. The meter is more in our favor now, and I believe this will be a piece of cake. The only thing I'm concerned about is, again, the artillery, but we have Pegasus Knights, and this is going to be an open field combat. Unlike Marienburg, where they had the walls to protect them and a lot of archers to support them, this is where the AI is going to push forward. We're going to give it some time for their archers to engage my main forces, so the Pegasus Knights can be uncontested as they destroy their artillery. Alright, so we're going to turn this snowy field into a battlefield of blood. There's going to be lots of orcs that are going to get slaughtered in the center by a shower of arrows. So what we're going to do here is bring my archers to the front. They are going to be the front line with, on the flanks, my infantry and cavalry. We're going to be pulling up just behind those infantry as well, ready to respond to both any cavalry units they have and archer units. After they've dealt with that, they'll be coming behind the flanks to destroy the infantry, hopefully before their infantry defeats mine. And their infantry will defeat mine if I can't pour enough damage onto them with arrows and cavalry charges. Alright, so it looks like they're positioned just slightly over to the left there. So let's turn this over just a bit, make sure we're aiming in the right direction. Meanwhile, my reinforcements have arrived. We've pulled back far enough so that the reinforcements don't have very far to go. Alright, let's get them all lined up on the sides. Help protect our archers. Let's bring these guys over to the right. And we got more archers now, so let's put them in the group. Oop, did that wrong. Let's try that again. There we go. Battle line of archers. So the concept here is to have the archers up front, infantry on the sides, and I'm going to put the generals in the middle. Now what the general is going to do, because they're especially King Luen, he's very tanky. He's going to have the support of the other general as well, which will help bring off the pressure, is they're going to take on the center. And they're going to hold the blob of infantry from the AI while the archers shower on top of them. That way we can cause mass casualties and potentially destroy the core of their infantry all in one fell swoop. Meanwhile, everything else will be picked up by my other infantry units to help keep them off the archers. Now, because we're attacking, they've pulled back to the hills there. They want us to come to them, but as soon as my artillery are within range, they will come charging down after us. And that will be the plan. We want them to come after us for our strategy to work in order to get our Pegasus Knights to freely take out their artillery and to have their men scatter about as my cavalry go over the place chasing them down. So let's start moving forward. And for the sake of time, we're going to speed up my formation. Alright, so now that my artillery is within range, their army has to move forward. Otherwise, they're going to take a lot of casualties. So they're going to come down, straight down the center. And now I got to keep an eye on their cavalry on the sides, which will be responded with my own, because I have Knights of the Realm and the Grail Knights, which are anti-large. They'll be able to easily dispatch their Wolf Riders without a problem. So the artillery onslaught has begun. We're going to be aiming for the center to deal as much damage as we can before they get to the range of the archers. And the archers are going to be doing most of the work again with the Brettonian army. The infantry I have will not be able to go toe-to-toe with their orc boys. As you can see, I also have my Pegasus Knights off to the right. They have nothing to fear at the moment while they're in the air, as their archers are going for my main forces. So we're going to start giving them the commands to come around and defeat their artillery, so that way they don't have a chance to do any damage to my infantry units. Alright, it has begun. We're taking out their cavalry right now. That way they don't get to our archers. So we have a huge advantage being able to deal with their cavalry so easily. And now they're almost within range. I'm going to start moving my generals forward because they're going to be taking care of the huge blob and their general all in the center. Now, this is high risk because if I lose King Loancourt for any reason in this battle, the leadership is going to drop on all these peasants and they're going to run off the field. Also, losing King Loancourt early on in the game is a huge problem because of the way the Brettonian forces are used. They have to have skill points in order to use their cavalry units, and losing King Loancourt means I lose all my cavalry as well, and early game, that is not good. The upkeep for them is not sustainable. You won't make enough money to keep them on another general, so you have to disband them in order to stay afloat. And having an army of nothing but peasants with the peasant economy this early is not a good thing to have a problem with, which is you're just better off at that point. Let's go ahead and start bringing out our cavalry to the flanks to take out their archers. We need to send our infantry in to keep them from getting to the archers as well. Peasants holding the line there. Alright. Keep an eye on King Loancourt health. Give him some buffs. Keep them out there. And shower them down. As you can see, the archers, this many, focusing fire on one unit. One volley usually destroys all their leadership, if not the entire unit. Let's bring them around. There we go. That takes care of those archers. Get these guys in combat. See, we've already lost one unit to leadership. Let's get those cavalry in there to help support them. They're pretty much going to hold that flank. I'm not going to be cycle charging them. They're going to have to stay in battle in order for that flank to not collapse. All right, focus fire. Take out those archers. Bring those peasant mobs to King Loancourt so he has a little more support. He is taking on the general and quite a few of their infantry. Luckily, he has the support of the other general to help him out. Now, the enemy general is exposed. Here shortly, we're going to use our archers to focus him down in order to rout the enemy. Alright, let's get our Pegasus Knights. Looks like he's finished over there, so he can probably come help out elsewhere. Alright, archers focus fire the general. Help out that infantry unit. They're holding things together. With the cavalry coming in, they'll be able to defeat that blob of infantry. And their general is about to die. Just in time, too, because King Loancourt is taking some friendly fire, but because of his buff, he takes reduction in missile damage. So it's not too bad. He comes out on top. Now let's pull him back so he doesn't get any more trouble. And this battle's pretty much in the bag. Without their general, they have no leadership left. And we have mass routing happening right now. And this is a victory for the Battle of Grung Zint, which now allows me the opportunity to strengthen the borders of Brettonia and begin the research I need to confederate the rest of the country. Now with Grung Zint out of the way, the only housekeeping I need to deal with is the rebellion that's about to happen next turn, which will be at Corone. The garrison alone is more than effective to deal with it, but with no further enemies at the moment, I can bring King Loan home in order to easily auto-calc that battle, or I can play it for fun. The rest is up to you. I would recommend going after Muslin next, or finishing off Gorcel at some point. Now that pretty much sums up the first 5 turns of Brettonian. I hope that helps you guys out in order to establish a good foothold on Legendary difficulty, or even the lesser difficulties. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one, guys. Good luck with your campaigns.